You're listening to
Catholic Sprouts,
the daily podcast for Catholic kids that strives to plant seeds of faith. Today's podcast is brought to you by OSV Kids, a magazine designed to help children grow in their faith throughout the liturgical year. To find out more, head to osvkids.com.
Hey there, Sprouts. Today is Monday, March 22nd, 2021. We're also in the 5th week of Lent. So how is your Lent going? Hopefully well. I'm Kyle Heimann from Spoke Street Media, and just like Nancy, I'm a Catholic podcaster. I'll be taking over the podcast all week. I want to talk a little bit about fatherhood and about all sorts of things, like why did God give us fathers in the first place? Also, the different types of fathers in our lives. Also, if you're a boy, is God asking you to be a father someday? But the topic of fatherhood is important, especially this year, because Pope Francis dedicated the whole year to St. Joseph, the man that God selected to be the earthly father of Jesus, the Son of God. So we celebrated St. Joseph's feast day last Friday. And if you listened, Nancy talked about that solemnity and that we can celebrate even though it's during Lent. But we are celebrating him in a special way all year. We might say, why did God create fathers in the first place? Our earthly fathers give us a glimpse of what God the Father is like. And we're not perfect by any means, but God's love is unconditional. And similarly, our dads love us no matter what we do. Now, it might not seem like it sometimes because you might get in trouble for things and your father might punish you, but it's so that you can grow and be a better person. And when I think about my kids, I think that I would sacrifice anything for them. And this idea of, would you sacrifice your life for your child? Well, yeah, of course I would. And I remember one time our family went on a bike ride. And at the time, our kids were slow enough on the bike that my wife and I could keep up with them running. And so we'd go for a run, the kids would ride their bike, and I was pushing the baby in the stroller. At one point, we were crossing the street, and the kids went up on the driveway and onto the sidewalk, and I followed. But when I hit the curb, the front wheel spun sideways, which stopped the stroller, flipping it upside down. And I had no time to think about this, but I dove onto the concrete, sliding across the pavement to catch the stroller that had our baby in it, fairly recently newborn baby. The baby was fine. Everybody was okay. And I got up and didn't even realize, but I had scratched up the whole side of my leg and was bleeding. And my sons were all worried about me and my safety. It was something I didn't think twice about. Because I love my child and would do anything to protect him. But also fathers are like a good shepherd. And in John chapter 10, Jesus talks about the sheep knowing the voice of the shepherd. And, we know our own father's voice. And if you're in a room with a crowd of people talking and you're blindfolded, you could probably walk around and listen to each person's voice and be able to say which one is your dad. And so we need to listen to the voice of our Father, that if he's yelling out to say, don't cross the street because there's a car coming, or you need to do your homework so you get good grades, or you need to eat your dinner so you're not hungry tonight when you go to bed. We need to listen to the voice of our Father, the shepherd that's protecting us, that's watching over us, that wants what's best for us. And just like St. Joseph, our fathers are teaching us, and they protect us and they lead us. And your dad isn't perfect. I'm not a perfect dad. It's easy for me to sacrifice myself and dive underneath a stroller that's flipping over. But sometimes I don't pay attention to my kids and I have my phone in front of me, or it's hard for me to share the remote control and watch what the kids want to watch, or to put down the computer, put down the work and go outside and play. I'm not perfect. And maybe you don't have a great relationship with your dad. If that's the case, I'm sorry. But know that you have spiritual fathers here on earth, your parish priest, to name one. You have spiritual fathers in heaven, like St. Joseph. And of course, God is our ultimate father, who teaches us that when we pray, we should call him Father. So today I want to challenge you to say an Our Father for your dad. Pray for him. Hopefully you do that every day. Man, we need prayers because, like I said, we're not perfect, but we're trying. We're trying to be good dads. And your dad needs your prayers. But say a special prayer today. Say an Our Father for your dad.
That's it for Catholic Sprouts today. We'll be back tomorrow, but until then, continue to grow in your faith and truly sprout into the beautiful creation that God created you to be.
Thanks for joining me this week for Catholic Sprouts. I am blessed to be a part of this. This is such a great podcast. I know our family enjoys Catholic Sprouts. And if you're looking for other great podcasts, check out spokestreet.com. We've got a whole bunch of great Catholic podcasts that I think you might enjoy. I do a show with my son called Catholicism with My Kid, where we talk about different topics. We just have a conversation about it with my 10-year-old or 9-year-old or sometimes my 6-year-old son. So check it out, Catholicism with My Kid or spokestreet.com.
This show is a production of the Spoke Street Media Podcast Network. For more great podcasts, visit spokestreet.com.